In this video we will talk about one of the most emotional and sneaky judokas of our time. He went through many stages in his career and felt all the charms of professional sport and judo, ups and downs, transition and consolidation in a new weight category. The name of today's main character in the video is Walide Khyar, and he represents France. To be more specific, we take a look at 3 bouts when his emotions were out of bounds and he was literally flying into hard clashes with his opponents. This is clearly not according to judo principles, but it was very emotional and perhaps spectacular from a spectator's perspective. The most interesting is always at the end of the video in the fight against Joshiro Maruyama. I wish you all a pleasant viewing experience, and I'll say right away, I don't judge this judoka in the slightest, and I express my respect for his achievements, and I despise all offensive comments against him. We move on to 2018 for the Grand Slam tournament in Ekaterinburg. Back then, Walide Khyar fought in the under 60 kilograms category, and we take a look at a bout against Judo Smatov that many may have already seen. Then Walide Khyar from the first moments of the meeting hit Judo Smatov in the face and in the eye, which did not please the Kazakh very much, and he lost his temper a little bit. But looking ahead, I will say that Judo Smatov dealt with Walide Khyar in all judo canons. And right now you can see on your screens how in one of the moments of the fight, in the fight for a takedown, the representative of the French national team in a blue kimono hits twice in a row on the face of Judo Smatov. The referee even stops the fight for a short time so that the representative of Kazakhstan could come to his senses. The rivals seemed to shake hands, and everything should be over. But this fight turned out to be very aggressive and quite spectacular from the viewer's point of view. Walide Khyar tries to get the takedown again. He doesn't get it properly. Smatov in principle on speed at that time worked very well, and even now will give a head start to many young judokas. Walide Khyar breaks the clinch and at the same time tries to control the fight. Also, the representative of France is trying very hard to get the top takedown. And here Yildiz is going for a back body shot. Yildiz keeps control of the fight. An attempted mid-kick from Walide Khyar. It's worth noting that no matter how aggressively the Frenchman tries to work, he can't get in on the throws. In this episode, Yildiz waited for his moment and like a true professional counterattacked his opponent and earned a Wazari rating. And of course, the Frenchman didn't like it. When he lost, he became even more aggressive and angry in a sporting way. Walide Khyar is trying to go forward to win back the lost score. Here Judo Smatov tried to perform a crowning throw Tyotoshi, and in these episodes we see a good judo attacker from the Kazakh, and another throw. Judo Smatov performs this throw well and earns a Wazari. The Frenchman is attacking Judo Smatov quickly. Here the Kazakh even had to fall in defense, because it was hard to resist such an onslaught. Smatov flies forward, takes the clinch, but we don't see any normal throws from him. Here we see a Kouchigari hold, and Smatov finishes his opponent, earning a second Wazari. You can see that Smatov has been through a lot in this fight, and of course finished this fight properly. Judo Smatov withstands the onslaught of heavy attacks from his opponent and wins the bout. To Wazari and an ippon for Judo Smatov. Victory, the opponents shook hands and the conflict was hushed up. Moving on to the Grand Slam Paris 2020. Here Walide Khyar tried to impose his daring fight on Ryuji Nagayama. Ryuji Nagayama has never won a world title in his career, but we know that he is a fantastic judoka and we hope that he can win the Olympic Games in Paris this year. And in this episode, 30 seconds into the bout, he earns a Wazari rating and is given the status of the leader of this bout. Walide Khyar, on the other hand, is the runner-up. Here the Frenchman almost fell from the underhook and competent work on the grapples from Ryuji Nagayama. Flying forward and pushing his opponent Walide Khyar in some places, this is his thing. Again we see takedown attempts, but not a single full-fledged throw from the Frenchman. Ryuji Nagayama, however, tries to find a moment to throw as soon as he can. And here's another back body shot from Ryuji Nagayama, but Walide Khyar pushes him away. Certainly not a pretty sight, and somewhere disrespectful to his opponent. I don't know why it was done. Perhaps Walide Khyar wanted to continue fighting in the parter, but whether in the parter or in the stand-up, he couldn't execute a single shot properly. Ryuji Nagayama just needs to hold on, but he's flying forward to finish his opponent and end this fight early, the Japanese way. Walide Khyar has the takedown again, but he doesn't go in for the throw. Hard to do, hard to do. Ryuji Nagayama tries to make the throw again, and in this episode, the Japanese catches his opponent on the underhook and emerges victorious from this bout. Ryuji Nagayama holds off the onslaught of attacks. Wazari, ippon, and Ryuji Nagayama is the winner. Well, let's move on to Grand Slam 2024, which took place in Paris. At this fight, Walide Khyar fought very boldly, and I honestly did not like this fight in his performance. Well, he really hurt our favorite Joshiro Maruyama. In the course of this bout, both athletes received cuts on their faces. We see that from the first seconds Walide Khyar charged properly on this confrontation. He wanted to defeat the Japanese legend, two-time world champion, twice silver medalist of the World Championships Joshiro Maruyama. It was the third round, and in case of a defeat at the home Grand Slam at this stage of the tournament, Walide Khyar would be left without a trophy, which he naturally did not want. A takedown attempt from Joshiro Maruyama, again aggressive and bold judo from Walide Khyar. Walide Khyar tries to steamroll his opponent, but Joshiro Maruyama defends very well. Walide Khyar is flying forward, dragging his opponent across the mat, and even here there was an attempt to throw over the head, but I wouldn't call it judo in principle. Now that's judo right there, a throw attempt from Joshiro Maruyama. Hard wrestling, and very roughly throws, or rather pushes his opponent Walide Khyar. You can see it from this camera. He came in well on the throw and lifted his opponent. And here's where I don't understand why he did it. Joshiro Maruyama was barely on his feet. Maruyama was right to fall into the mat because we don't approve of that kind of pushing. And here Walide Khyar tried something else. Two more takedowns from Joshiro Maruyama. Walide Khyar is caught. A Tom-on-H takedown from Joshiro Maruyama. And here we see that pulling the lapel of his opponent Walide Khyar was disrespectful. But the most important thing is that in all today's cases, when emotions ran through all the canons of judo, the rivals shook hands, bowed and separated, leaving all their emotions and anger within the tatami. The rivals bandaged themselves and prepared to continue this fiery and emotional fight. Walide Khyar is flying forward, and you can see that he is working on a Shido. He wants a third Shido for a passive got Joshiro Maruyama, but the Frenchman does nothing to make it happen. Maruyama falls down, defends. Somewhere for this could have been punished with a Shido, but there was no attack as such from the Frenchman. In this episode, it was a good throwing run, no argument. But there were very few such moves in this fight. If Walide Khyar had tried to do that a few times, there would have been a Shido. But as it is, the judges understand that he was working for a point for his opponent and did not give a chance to get a Shido for Joshiro Maruyama. Here the Japanese holds back the onslaught as needed, demonstrating the combination with his legs all properly, as taught at Tenri University and in Japan in general. Another takedown into a throw. Double throw attempted by Joshiro Maruyama. Another throwing run. And in this episode, the athletes are getting closer together. Joshiro Maruyama holds the clinch to the end and throws a clean throw to his opponent's ippon. Beautiful, and all according to the judo canons. Just a minute into the golden score, and Joshiro Maruyama finishes his opponent. Walide Khyar freaked out, took off his armband, threw it, and apparently wanted to go behind the tatami. It's emotion, and we all understand. Maybe Walide Khyar thought he had won the Shido a long time ago, but the judges were letting his opponent down. But he soon calmed down. That's how some conflict situations should end. You can write your opinion in the comments. I hope there will not be a lot of negative comments about it. I, in turn, did not want to show the representative of France in any bad way. Sometimes there are such moments, and it is not for us to judge. We are only spectators. I am waiting for your opinion in the comments. Rate the video, watch other videos, and see you all soon.